Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like you're trying all these self-improvement things and your life is still the same or even worse? Do you feel like even though you're doing nofap, cold showers, cold approaching girls, doing diets like keto, no sugar or whatever, you're waking up at 4 in the morning every day, you're rejecting all people and just focusing on your grind, that do you still feel like you are nowhere near to the level of success of other people who preached and promised that this self-improvement will change your life? Surprise, surprise, following some YouTubers' morning routine didn't actually bring you any financial freedom or make you more attractive to women. I know it might seem ironic coming from a guy with a YouTube name Student of Improvement, but if you are a part of this self-improvement world, if you religiously follow every new self-improvement trend, that in reality, you are either improving for nothing with no long-lasting improvement, or you are just degrading. Sounds weird, huh? That doing something with the word improvement in it can be actually bad for you. Of course, experimenting with things like waking up earlier in the morning or doing cold showers, which have proven health benefits, are all good, and I'm not saying that these things are bad by themselves. The mentality that these or similar self-improvement practices will be the foundation of your life, now that is bad for you. If you were like me some years ago, young, and didn't know that there was a whole world that existed beyond living like an average man, like how there was no pornography instead of watching porn every day, or no video games instead of playing all day, or doing the mentioned cold showers and everything like that, you might remember how exciting all of it was and how many people were preaching that these things will change your life. If you weren't satisfied with your life, and of course you weren't, you were young and had nothing, then these promises of life-changing things were probably the reason that attracted you to self-improvement. You start doing this self-improvement things and you just feel amazing. You feel better about yourself. You feel better amongst your friends or close acquaintances who don't even know what the word nofap means or motivation or whatever, and everything just seems exciting. Over time, however, you start depending your whole personality and happiness on the fact that this particular day you woke up at 4 a.m. or that this day you didn't break your nofap streak, or that this day you read 1 hour per day, and so on. You become a bit isolated from other people because everywhere you look, you judge them because it seems that what you're doing is very right and they're not doing that. Maybe they're waking up at 9 or later and you're waking up before that, and like that. Then a few years pass, and where do you find yourself at? In the same place, still worrying about your nofap streak, still worrying about how many girls you approached today, listening to some Andrew Tate podcast or something, and there is no actual improvement, no actual growth. Just like a bad habit of smoking cigarettes, you look and calculate at all of these self-improvement practices that you did and how well you did them, and you have this illusion that you're improving, but there is no improvement at all. I was through all of these self-improvement practices, nofap, dopamine detox, morning routines, you name it, I was on it. However, now, as I grow older, there has been a shift in my thinking and understanding of life. I now believe that most of this self-improvement is just BS. Sure, when you're young, you can try experimenting with these things, and these practices altogether, like, they are good for you in general, but it can become dangerous for you, as again I said, if you start basing this whole self-improvement in your life instead of just achieving actual growth. Elisha Long, in one of his recent videos I've watched, made a great comparison. Are you improving or are you growing? I think self-improvement is like theory. It's good to know it and you can somewhat practically implement it, and there are a lot of theories, but in reality, these theories don't really teach you anything about actual life, which just comes from just living. Growth is the actual going through life, rejecting all of these noises and ideas that have been pumped into your mind, like you have to always be grinding, you can never sleep, you have to always be working on yourself, and so on. While self-improvement and motivational videos, books, podcasts can sound really good and can really get you going, get you hyped up, real human experience differs. It's nice getting yelled at and motivated by David Goggins about running a marathon every day before work in your office or something like that, but is it really something you need in your life? It's cool to see Wim Hof spending an hour in the frozen lake, but is it really something you need to do? Is it more realistic to plan a 12-hour work days for 6 months straight to work on your passion, get hyped up like that? Or is it more realistic to understand that as a human, you also need the social life, you also need rest, you need hobbies, and you need to balance these things? I believe mostly young guys get sucked into this life-changing promises of self-improvement that they're said that they can be something else than they are, but it's usually something that's too unrealistic or something that's actually bad for them. Do you really want to become like Patrick Bateman, or that you think that there is an actual thing, something like that, a Sigma lifestyle or something like that, or that you will become the main character or some cringe BS like that? Do you really think that rejecting people, isolating yourself, and just working all the time and worrying just about money, just getting rich, is the actual answer to the question why your life is so bad right now? Social media and comparison plays a huge role in this, and I think we as humans deep down forgot the real reason why we actually improve for. Elisha Long again said it perfectly: you just keep buying because you've been sold on it for so long.
Because you've been sold it so many times that you forget what you're fucking buying.
You keep improving for the sake of improvement and not for growth. So where does growth come from? From the basic things in your life. Your career, if you have a girlfriend, or are you building toward building a family, if you're consistently working out, if you're having hobbies, if you have friends, if you're just a good person, that you're learning and just living. Yeah, sounds like an average life, but what separates this from the average life, what improvement and growth should be, is that with all these different life aspects, you try to improve the quality of them. As an example, having a career or your life's work can be one of the most meaningful things for a man, but you need to ask yourself, are you doing this because it's meaningful to you and can benefit you and others? Or is it something that you're doing because you watched a lot of productivity, motivational things, self-improvement things, and you think that if you push yourself into this, you're gonna become some, entrepreneur or something like that other people are doing, but you're not really interested in, but you just keep pushing yourself until you burn out and just fall into a rut on the depression or something? Are you actually pursuing a family life where you can become a father and an example for your kids, how to be good people and raise them? Or are you basing these things on the number of girls you've slept with? All of these different life aspects, if pursued with meaning and balance, create peace and a good life. Not how many habits you have, but how much time you spend working on these basic life aspects that matter. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Leave a comment down below and let's have some meaningful discussions. Okay, guys? See you later.